Sage Wanderer here. Well, I thought I would let you see the other half of the banjo. You only get to see half of it because I'm so stubborn in how I record things. Hey, I thought I would take a minute and talk to you about this music I'm creating. And so I'm calling this collection of songs the Van Tapes, Music from Down by the River. And some of the people that have come on, first of all, just thank you guys so much for loving on me. I mean, hey, it was salve on my ego and feelings after getting ripped by the trolls so much. And so you guys know, I edited as much of those trolls as I could. I thought the best thing I could do would be silence them. This is my channel, and I don't need them just coming on. Hey, if they have a good argument or whatever, I'd let the stuff ride, and I let some stuff ride that seemed like there was some sense to it. But a lot of it was just totally personal attacks. And musicians, man, we got fragile, feelings sometimes, and so I was feeling pretty hurt about some of that stuff for a while. Trying not to. I mean, you've seen my videos where I just take it with stride. But so thanks for all the loving on the music. Music is my life and my career. And I'm an amateur at this YouTube stuff, but I've been making music for a long, long time. And thank you guys for showing such interest in it. It is political satire, and it's going to come in various forms because my music is really diverse. And the piano will come out, and you guys will get to see what I really, really do. But one of my viewers brought up that I need to be careful about what I release on YouTube. And here's how I think that works. But if there's any entertainment lawyers that just happen to be viewers, or if you're friends with some, hey, hit me up on here and we'll talk about it. But the thing that makes me different, I think, than just about anybody you'll encounter when it comes to music at this point in my life, is it is not about money for me. This is about my personal expression. I'm creating art. And whether I'm talking to you guys about current events or conspiracy theories or I'm making music, it's all art to me. And at this point in my life, if I'm going to do anything musical, it's going to be for the art and for the sake of expressing myself, because I have got scars from the road battle life as a musician. And at this point, it's just all about creating. And some people talk about making these songs into an album. Well, maybe, the studio is grueling, and I spent a portion of my career as a studio musician. I've always been in the studio. And but that can be really grueling, to a guy. I mean, it's people don't understand, really. I don't want to sound like a whiner, but making music is really hard on an emotional and spiritual level and an intellectual level. And it's like cramming for a test. That's how intense your focus has got to be. It's like taking a test when you're writing music. And what I'm doing right now is writing music on demand. If you go back to my first musical thing that I did, was I played Voodoo Child on the banjo after one of my viewers. I think his name is Blazin' Blazer or something like that. I think this is the same guy. And forgive me if I got your name wrong. I rely on memory most of the time. I don't write a whole lot of stuff down. But anyway, he suggested that as a joke, just, he, off the top of his head, I think he meant it as a little bit of a dig. That if I was going to, if it would be musically cool or something if I could play Voodoo Child on the banjo. So I made that video, and I'm not sure why YouTube demonetized it. Not that I'm about the money, but just more curious about that on a political level. But these videos I've been doing lately are monetized, and I'm making a tiny little bit, But here's what you guys need to know about me. God takes care of me. That's just it. I mean, I'll tell you a quick story, not to make this video go too long, but here's just a quick story. One time when I was a young Christian musician, I was doing music exclusively as Christian music. A friend of mine who was an A&R guy at one of the biggest, Benson Records, I'll just say it, he worked for Benson, which is a big Christian music label. And we just come from a meeting, a business meeting about the music business. And we were leaving, and he went to get in his, beat up 15-year-old Toyota Corolla, and he saw me get into a almost brand new Lincoln Continental with a cloth top, and he says to me, he says, Sage, so how did you how did you end up with a car like that? I mean, I'm looking at you and it doesn't seem like you do anything for work. And he says, I'm working all the time. And, you know, how is it you're driving a new Lincoln and all I can afford is this piece of crap? And honestly, I didn't know what to say. And I just said the first thing that popped in my head. I said, you know, I can't explain it, but God just takes care of me. You know, I always do the right thing as best I can, and God just takes care of me. You know, I listened to his voice. And the guy kind of shook his head like I'd said something in Latin to him and he didn't understand it. This is why my friends have said, why are you not rich and famous? And if you watch my video about selling your soul to the devil, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't give them it. I wouldn't give it to them. It's not theirs to have. But that's, you know, that and the fact that I just don't love money. You know, I'll tell you another quick story. I was saving for a story time, but what the heck? I'm droning on here. So I had a friend who was in a big band with me, who ended up being a big wig. He ended up being a really big commercial creator. I forget what they call him. You know, he started out in editing, but he started making commercials. And because he's a musician, he started writing the jingles for the commercials. And I really wasn't paying attention to his career. I knew he was rolling in money. You know, at the time, I was trying to be a minister. But we'd been in a band together, and I'd wrote an outro for an original song that we recorded that was this really kind of upbeat. I did it with keyboard brass, and then I think when we went in the studio, we actually got a brass section to play it for us. And anyway, but this had been years before, and by this time I was a preacher, and he and I were in a close contact. He just phones me up and he goes, hey man, you remember the outro to such and such song, track number whatever on the record we did? You know, the outro that you wrote. And I was like, yeah. He goes, man, you care if I use that? I got a little project for a commercial and I just needed some background music or something to go in there. He said, and I thought that was kind of original that you know, can I use it? And I said, sure. So, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 months go by and I'm driving down the road and suddenly I hear the outro of the song I wrote redone with studio horns and it sounds huge and it's, you know, this is ba da 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 da. So Latin thing, this groove going, you know, just like I wrote it, but fully realized in a way we couldn't have. And then this voice comes over it. And it's the voiceover. And I'm not going to give you too much because I don't want to start any crap with anybody. But because you probably heard the commercial. But a nationally known Hispanic icon comes on the radio and does a commercial for a Mexican restaurant as a character. And the whole time my track is playing behind him, right? So we had a reunion show and I went back to this guy's house and hung out with him, his mansion. And this guy had the guts to pull out a check. And I think it was for like $3,000. And I was a struggling young preacher. And he showed me the check and he said, this is what I made from that stupid commercial. And that's just the preliminary first quarter. He said, my lawyer says I'll get 10 times that much every quarter as long as it's playing on the radio. Ridiculous amount of money. And it was what I wrote. I just let it go. You know, I probably could have sued him because I said he could use it, but I didn't say, you know, for free. You know, and I didn't realize how big it was going to be, but I don't love money. And that's the secret to the Lincoln in the previous story, is that I don't have a love for money. So I don't care if YouTube tries to rip me off. I really don't care. I don't think they can, because actually I'm using these recordings to document my own copyright. And I don't believe that I gave away any rights in the YouTube agreement on my copyright. And the only reason I would guard the copyright on these songs is so that I make sure I can control who uses them. And you guys probably don't care about all this crud. But I wanted to let you know that I'm enjoying creating music. And yes, I'm going to definitely continue with with my monologues about current events and conspiracy theories. I'm going to make one as soon as I'm done with this video. I kind of had to get the music out of my system a little bit. I think once we got through the tension of the whole November 4th thing, whatever we want to figure out that was or what's coming next, but definitely a lot of pressure was released on me because I took that threat very seriously. And so I think I'm venting some of that musically now, and I'm just sharing it with you guys. And thank you so much for being a part of it. And I would if it wasn't for you guys, I'd just be doing this by myself and sitting and laughing at my own stupid, songs or videos. But, this format is allowing me to share it with whoever wants to. Hey, and copy this stuff. Like I said, I don't care about money. I would like you to put them back, send people back as much as you can to the page. I'm making a little bit of money, but from the YouTube thing, but mainly so I can, share what I'm doing with everybody and get the word out, because that's all that matters to me. I'm just having a lot of fun and looking for something to do in my retirement. So thanks for being along for the ride, and I can hope it continues past 5,000 subscribers and beyond. Share the channel with your friends, and play this song when the boss ain't looking down at work. These songs if you want. And I'll do my best to write some more. It's flowing right now. I wrote those songs, these last few songs, just in a couple of days. It's kind of been a whirlwind. I write when it hits me, and it's been hitting me a lot lately. So expect more music to come, more than likely, and more talk as well. So thanks. This was just a personal message to you guys that I love so much, and have become my friends on did I say Facebook? I probably did. I'm so old. YouTube, whatever. But yeah, I feel like you're my friends, on YouTube, and we're getting to know each other. So anyway, till next time. Thanks.